to Cannabis Health Radio, where we share powerful, real-life stories from people around the world who are using cannabis as medicine. The goal of this podcast is to raise awareness of the healing potential of cannabis and is not intended as medical advice. And now, here's your host, Ian Jessup.
Welcome to the Cannabis Health Radio podcast. I'm Ian Jessup. Today we're talking with a woman whose journey through pain, surgery, and prescription medications led to discover something life-changing, the healing power of CBD. Now, Deborah Hall of Virginia was diagnosed with a rare condition called a spinal AVM. And if you don't know what that is, who does? Arteriovenous malformation. It's an abnormal tangle of blood vessels in or near the spinal cord that cause severe pain, weakness, and even paralysis. After two major surgeries, years of pain, and dependency on prescription medications, Deborah turned to CBD, thanks in part to encouragement from her daughter, Meghan, and from Morentin of My Fit Life. And Deborah and Meghan Hall join us. Welcome to Cannabis Health Radio. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Ian.
Deborah, how are you feeling today compared to where you were at your very worst?
Oh my goodness, they're really it's hard to compare. Much better, much less pain, and it's miraculous. Basically, walking every day, being in wonderment of the improvement.
That's fantastic. Now, when did you learn that something was wrong with you? Take us back to the beginning.
Well, it started, around 2013. I was feeling the weakness in my legs, in my lower extremities, and I started, of course, as we all do, going to my family doctor, and who had been our family doctor, had been Meghan's, family doctor, my children, I've trusted him with everything that was going on with her family. And I went and he said that I should exercise and lose weight. So I took his advice and started kind of a bit of a program, walking the treadmill and things like that. And I went through that for about a year. Things didn't get worse, but they weren't getting better. The second year, I was around 2014, I noticed that things were getting worse. So I went back to my family doctor, and he said, you need to lose more weight and exercise, maybe a little bit more, but a little more emphasis on the exercise, of which I did. And I was on the treadmill one evening and stepped off of the treadmill, and if I wasn't holding on to the handrail, I would have fallen. The legs were so weak. And I realized that after doing, the exercises and even walking, I would feel like I was trying to walk through concrete. It was very difficult. So we scheduled a CAT scan on the lower back and found that I had a tangle of veins called an AVM, and people have them, and that seems to be kind of a something people have, and I was told that a lot of people don't even know they have it, but they're not in dangerous areas of the body. So I happen to have it in the very pit of my spinal cord, inside the cord itself.
Lucky you.
Yes, I know. Yes, and so I was, at that time, was told to head straight to the hospital. And don't stop, don't do anything. Grab a pillow, something to sleep in, and go to the hospital, of which I did.
Geez, that must have scared the hell out of you.
Oh, it did. It did. I thought, am I going to drop dead? Or are my legs going to go numb completely? Am I going to be paralyzed? Well, The issue was that those veins had swollen. And what happens is you can think of a ball of yarn or something like that, where you've got those very, very tiny blood vessels inside your spinal cord, and they were swollen, and they had gotten so swollen that they were trapping the blood. It wasn't going through and passing, and circulating like it should. So they were concerned that it was going to explode, basically, and I was going to be catastrophically paralyzed.
Wow.
So I did go to the doctor. I spent the weekend, and they were stymied as well. So they didn't know what to do. They didn't know. They said, "Well, we can put you, we can observe you." I said, "Well, of course, I wanted to go home." And they said, "If you could make an appointment with the neurosurgeon and come back," of which I did. So that kind of started my journey on what the heck is an AVM? How did I get the AVM? What causes it, etc.
Hmm.
So that's kind of got me started in on that search for a treatment. And of course, operation was on the docket for me.
Yes, I was reading in the notes that you sent me. Your first operation was 8.5 hours.
Yes, yes,
And one of the things that kind of surprised me is that you said you were laying on your stomach with your kind of bottom half of your body up in the air.
yes.
And I,
It
I
was
laid on the
very
bed.
archaic.
I laid on the bed and tried that. It was
Yes,
uncomfortable as hell.
yeah. Well, I was, of course, asleep that whole time. I was hooked up with electrodes from the top of my head to the tip of my toes because
Ah.
they had to monitor to make sure that I didn't lose, my feeling and in my body. But yeah, it was I was on my face, and I did, realize that, being on my face when I got out of the surgery, I, was red. My face was swollen. But yeah, that was 8.5 hours to go in. That was in Virginia, of course, here in Virginia. And I was told after the operation, and it was severe, severe pain. I was on the morphine drip and punching that button. I kept thinking this isn't working, and they kept saying, "Yeah, you have to wait a few minutes between you're pushing the button." Um, I still was in such severe pain, and I was told that when the neurosurgeon came in, that they did not get all the veins. That the vein, there was one left, and that so the operation I was going to get worse, basically. It was not completed. So I cried. I started crying, and the surgeon said, what's wrong? And I said, well, I don't think I could do that ever again, that surgery. And he said, well, we can open up your spinal cord as many times as we need to.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So that was what I was told. And I was, of course, left to go to, recuperating and a PT kind of thing. But it was knowing that I was going to have to address it again. That was the scary part.
How did you manage to deal with this emotionally, knowing that the first operation wasn't a total success and you're going to have to do it again?
It was scary. It was like you felt like that, just like you're venturing into the unknown, darkness.
Hmm.
It was very scary, and I didn't know whether I could do it again. But I was told if you didn't do it again, you were going to get worse and you would be possibly paralyzed. In fact, the first operation, I was told I could come off the table paralyzed, and I'm sure people get told that as a safety precaution. But this time it was, it was very crucial. And so I was able to walk with assistance with the walker, and still, but very slow and very calculated. But it was very scary, and it was I was quite afraid for what was to come.
Deborah, how old were you at this time?
Oh gosh, I was how it's like I was, oh goodness,
So
15. I
roughly
know.
10, 11
I'm
years
going to
ago.
say, 58, 57, 58.
So you're 57, 58. You face the prospect of being in a wheelchair, being paralyzed, and your quality of life is just really, quite frankly, going down the toilet.
Exactly. Yes.
And so you went through with the second operation, correct?
Yes, and that took 4 years for me to get to get the courage. First of all, I was not getting better, and I'm thinking, well, am I doing myself a disservice by not choosing the operation, which may, give me some relief? So I did go at that point. I went to Johns Hopkins, and no more, fooling with the surgeons here in Virginia. I went to Johns Hopkins and met with the neurosurgeons there, and they did a trace on my circulation, and they did find that the blockage was still there in my spinal cord. And they were like, "Well, you're not going to get better. It will get worse over time. Not to be bearers of bad news, but we're trying to be straight with you.
Mhm.
And we can do another operation, and this is what I scheduled to do."
So during this time, what sort of prescription medications were you taking to alleviate some of the pain you were experiencing?
Well, they gave me opioids, and basically, that was the I had tramadol at a later date, but it was the opiates, and several ones, and I could get them anytime that I needed them. All I'd had to do was ask.
You know, before we did this interview, I was looking up the side effects of oxycodone, which you were
Yes,
on,
yes.
gabapentin, and I think the other one was baclofen.
Baclofen, yes.
And boy, there's some nasty side effects from those things.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
And I mean, to say that they, it's fine that they can help you with the pain, but then you become a drug addict, correct?
That's right. And of course your all your functions, let's just say, when you take opioids, slow down.
Yeah.
You're it's not a it dulls you. It dulls you. And let me just say, for the pain that I was experiencing, it did not really affect it too much. It maybe changed my mental and how to deal with it.
Hmm.
But as far as the pain, it just minimally took care of the type of pain I was dealing with.
Now, after your second operation, did they fix the blockage?
They did get the last vein, and I was told that there was a section around, back, and behind, and that operation was about an 8-hour operation as well. But it wasn't as archaic as the first one. Let me say they had improved it a lot in those 4 years. And but still, I remember getting hooked up and again, head to toe, and the nurse and the surgeon, they said this is where the magic begins. so so they did get that last vein. But again, I was told that we're not going to say it's going to fix everything. We're not going to say it's going to take care of the pain. And it may be that once we get that very last one, you'll be paralyzed.
Oh my God. So were you still taking the opioids after the
Yes.
second operation? You were.
Yes. I was still, gosh, I mean, back then, which wasn't too long ago, but it was, when somebody gives you opioids, you're like, well, yay, you know, because you
Yeah,
don't know. You think, well, this should handle all my issues,
that's right.
So yes, I was still taking those. Yes.
Well, let's bring your daughter Megan into this. And Megan, when you found out your mother was taking all these opioids, what was your suggestion to her?
So, I've been holding back tears this whole time, replaying this whole scenario of what mom went through in my head. And, I'm in Los Angeles. So, being, you know, just my mom's the best mom in the whole world. So just feeling helpless and knowing that
Mhm.
she's going through that battle herself and not having any way to help her. I work in film, and I started diving deep into cannabis and the health benefits of it, and it organically turned into um, just a way in which I could try to find ways to help my mom to get her a different avenue outside of taking opiates, right? So
Mhm.
there was some form of motivation that really sparked a fire in me to get more research done. And so, I'm filming and interviewing different individuals that had gone through uh, pain or had cancer, and just really diving deep into how I could help in a way that is not going to send my mom to an early death, right? So,
Mhm.
or suffer in the meanwhile. And it was beautiful because 2016, so this would be around the time my mom had her second surgery, that I had met Al at a cannabis event where I spoke on a panel explaining my mom's scenario and just really asking for anyone that knew where I could go, because it was still new to me. And Al Morentin, he showed up at the end of the panel, and he said, "Hi, I heard your story, and I'd like to try to help your mom." Just like that. So, that really sparked my understanding of what, CBD could potentially do for my mom.
Yeah. And I should mention to listeners that Al Morentin of My Fit Life, his website, you can connect to his website on our website, Cannabis Health Radio. He's the fellow who makes his own cannabis oil, and if he doesn't take it for a week, he goes blind. And he has some really, really interesting stories. Deborah, when Megan recommended CBD oil to you, what did you think?
Oh my. As you can imagine, it's like, does it make you high? What do doctors think about it? How will it affect the other medicine that I'm taking?
Hmm.
Will I have side effects? All kinds of, the standard questions I think all of us have when somebody suggests it. So yeah, I was, not real keen on it at the very beginning, other than she's my precious and I trust her completely.
So, Megan, was it much convincing to get your mom to take CBD?
So, that's a great question. And if we really think about the broader scheme of things, there's been a lot of programming when it comes to cannabis, CBD, THC, all of it. So,
Yeah.
and of course, doctors are mostly uneducated about it. So, mom, as much as, yes, she trusted me and wanted to, was open to taking it, she had doctors going, no, if we find any trace of anything, we're going to cut you out of your medical. She would lose
Yeah.
everything. So like, the risk was monumental. So at first it was this coming to just the acceptance of this CBD is going to help. And, Al went above and beyond and created a very CBD dominant version of RSO so that there's no THC in it. The healing and pain management would be efficient, and it would not show up on doctors' tests and all whatnot, so that if they did test her, they wouldn't find any trace of anything and she wouldn't lose her medical benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the last interview we did in Cannabis Health Radio with a fellow who had heart issues. He was in a heart transplant. I think he was from Virginia, but he started taking cannabis oil, and it improved him. And when the doctors found out, they took him off the transplant list
Oh,
because they were very, fearful of it. And so, Deborah, when you started taking the CBD, um, tell us about the first time you took it.
Well, the first time, I think, in not understanding just how to approach it, I was taking it here and there. Okay, it wasn't like a regimen of sorts. So, I would take it, on occasion. A day would go, I wanted to save it. I didn't know if I could get any more. I wanted to be, frugal with it. And so I would kind of use it on occasion.
Shame on you.
And then yes, I know. I know. But then, Megan got on me a bit there and said, no, no, this is how you need to take it. And of course, that is also maybe people when they are, choosing to take it, to have someone, an advocate to say, this is the approach. This is what you need. It's like, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, a full tincture, whatever.
Mhm.
And so she and Al discussed it, and they kind of gave me a program to follow. And she said, "Mom, you really want to concentrate on taking it regularly." And not skipping doses. I'll get you your doses. The Al will help us out, and thank you, Al, and he did, and so I did start taking it on a regular basis. Now the interesting thing is, I was still taking the tramadol. This is interesting. So
Mhm.
it's a psychological kind of twist that you really want people to be aware of, that I'd like to share because I didn't want to let go of the tramadol because I was concerned that the pain would come back. And it's not like I was still having pain, but it was more nerve pain, neuropathy kind of feeling. But I would take it at night, and I'd take my tincture, my CBD, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to be an advocate for CBD, I'm going to have to stop taking this pain medicine. And so I stopped the tramadol, and I said, I'm going to feel this out. And we have to seek out our journey to be
Mhm.
healthy. Is you have to be a seeker. You have to look at what's available to you and not be, let's just say, lazy and let a doctor tell us what we need. Be an advocate. Be an
Mhm.
advocate for yourself. Ask questions, seek and look and ask. I was the advocate for myself in taking that the tramadol off my regular routine, and I could take that tramadol 3 times a day. I could take it
Wow.
really, and they would give me as much as I need because this back pain, they would go, oh, we'll give it to you. So I started the tincture with the CBD, and I tell you, it's like, well, I feel better now than I did when I was taking both of them. And I'm like thinking something's happening, and I was quite thrilled to see that. Okay, I'm not having such that pain in the back, in my very back, and it was the T7, the thoracic area
Mhm.
where that pain was, and the pain is gone.
Wow.
The pain is gone. Now I still have residual, the circulation in my lower extremities. They have been compromised. Well, let's see where we go, But I will tell you, I was so pleasantly pleased. I could drop the tramadol and I could just do the CBD. It was fabulous. And I even got on a bike and rode a three-wheel bike up and down my street. I had my physical therapist was with me, and we practiced that, and that would have been unheard of before.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Do you know what? If you add a little THC to the CBD, it's great. You'll be able to ride that bike as far as you want.
I know. They'll have to chase me to get me to get off the thing. But I have to give it to doctors. I was and I see a pain management doctor. I saw him 2 days ago, and I did explain to him, that I was on the CBD, and he said good. When I before several years ago, he was saying, well, you don't want to do it because they're going to find out that you're on it and might have some issues. But he said he said, your issue with your spinal cord is like someone shot you in the back, and
Ooh.
all that shrapnel just shattered in your spinal cord. And he said, there are people that have such pain there in their lower extremities and their back that they would commit suicide because of their back
Oh,
pain.
wow.
And he was asking me, he goes, how are you dealing with this pain? And I said, well, and that's when the CBD came up, and I said, I'm taking the CBD. Are you taking any other pain? No, nothing else for pain. And he was very pleased and happy that something had helped. But doctors don't know, and insurance companies definitely are not going to support you in any way once they find out that is on your list. It's a complete, we need a complete education of our medical system, because doctors, don't know what it can do for you. You do have to be an advocate for yourself.
Deborah, are you proud of your daughter Megan for helping out?
Oh my gosh, I can't even say, and I do, I do believe in prayer, and I do, trust that God's timing was absolutely appropriate, for her to meet Al, for Al to meet Megan, and for the help that I've been given. I'm so very, very grateful.
Megan, when you hear your mother's story, and especially when the doctor said some people commit suicide as a
Yeah.
result of the pain, how does that make you feel?
Well, I wept, just at the thought of if we hadn't met Al and had this beautiful journey play out, that my
Yeah.
mom would most definitely have been one of those people in that monumental amount of pain and miserable and just scared, not wanting to just be on this planet. Not her soul's strong, so she would push through it, but she shouldn't have to suffer, nor should anyone that goes through this level of pain. So yes, uh,
Mm.
it's very humbling, and I even had to reach out to Al and thank him again, and I've thanked him. It's been like a 7-8 year journey now, and we're still pushing through because it's a journey, and it takes
Yep.
dedication, and our healing journey takes dedication, and you have to love yourself enough to
Yes.
put in the work and to discover more about yourself. And even mom's saying it's like every day, instead of just existing and being a couch potato, not wanting to do anything, she's living life still, and that is unheard of for most of the people that suffer from AVM.
Hmm.
It's the doctors offer you, wheelchair and death. here. Or what did the doctor say to you? Let me know if it gets worse. That's all we can do to
Oh,
help.
that's all we could do. Yeah. He said,
Right.
call me, call me
Right.
in the morning. He
Right.
said, if it gets worse, give us a call. Well, what's worse? I mean, you're about as worse as you can be. But and it would have, and he said, and what you're going to see is, if you're not improving, you're not staying still, you're going to get worse. So I am so very thankful that this has helped. I mean, to deal with that kind of pain, and people that are listening, they know what back pain is, and nerve pain, and it's like if this can help them, do be an advocate and seek it out. But you want to go to a person like Al. You don't want to, go on the street corner like, back in the day. And, you need to find someone that's proficient in the product.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because there are so many scammers on the internet
Yes.
who will take advantage of people's ailments just for a quick buck. But Al's not like that. Deborah, are you free of opioids now and just taking CBD?
Just taking the CBD.
Just taking the CBD. Now,
Yes.
do you need assistance walking?
I do use a walker. And I'm still very thankful that is I can do that. But yes, I do use a walker. But I drive. Get in and out of the car. I get the walker in the car. I live alone, so there's no one here to lift or push or pull, or it's me. It's me. And so it's I use that walker to help me get around.
Should I enter you in the Boston Marathon next year?
Yes, you can. You sure can. Yeah.
Well, you
You
have
heard
a
about the rabbit and the tortoise, right?
yeah, that's right.
That's right. I might be slow, but I'll get there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think your story is really remarkable that you got off all opioids. You had those two terrible surgeries. The doctors essentially gave up on you. And if it wasn't for your daughter Megan giving you CBD, do you think you'd be around today?
I think, Ian, that if I was around, I would probably, and I don't like to say depressed, but yes, I might be in a chair a lot and depressed. It's depressing to be in pain.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it wears on you. It wears on you mentally and physically. You don't want to do things. You don't want to be with friends. You miss out on a lot of things. So I think I would have been in that same situation if I hadn't have had the CBD.
You have a fantastic story, and I want to thank you for sharing your journey with us and really giving hope to others who might be struggling with chronic pain.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, you're very welcome. And I hope all your listeners will be an advocate for their health and seek out the CBD and what it can do for them.
And Megan, thanks for helping your mom.
And
Yes.
that's my mama. Yeah. Just we love our parents, you know what I mean? And it's important that they have a great life as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thanks so much, both of you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thanks for tuning in. You can find more information and check out all our past episodes at cannabishealthradio.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and follow us on social media and our Rumble channel. This podcast is listener supported, so if you've found it helpful, please consider making a donation, big or small, right on our site. And if you know someone who could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. Leaving a quick review also helps others discover us. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks again.